WebVee Guy Conversation. With us is Kyle, and today we're talking to Wendy Rosoff. Wendy, hi.
Hi, Jeff.
You're from New York originally, aren't you?
So I kind of split my time between New York and New Jersey, but I was born on the Upper West Side in New York. And when my parents split, they bought a house in New Jersey, so I kind of split my time back and forth. I went to LaGuardia High School, Performing Arts in New York, and I finished high school at a public school in New Jersey. And I went to school in New York City at the American Musical and Dramatic Academy. And then I worked in New York for about, I guess, 10, 15 years or so before I headed out to LA.
Okay, so you actually were a performer then at a young age if you went to the Performing Arts High School.
I started my career when I was 6 years old. I sang with the Metropolitan Opera Company.
Wow. In what
Yeah.
opera?
Gosh, what was the first opera? You know, how they used to work it back then is that they would hire the kids for the season and they would teach you the repertoire. So I would learn like Tosca, Carmen, Cavalleria Rusticana, Pagliacci, and then they would kind of divvy kids up throughout the course of the season. So I did a bunch of stuff, and then I did a few premiere operas while I was there, and just had a great time. I also toured with City Center Opera and the Met.
Was your family creative?
Yeah, so I come from a family of professional musicians. My dad is a violinist and my mom is a cellist. And growing up, they did Broadway shows to make their living. So that's kind of how I fell in love. I would sit in the pit with my parents and watch Broadway shows from the time I can remember.
So you had a love of it early.
Oh, yeah. Bitten by the bug. There was always music in the family.
When did you realize you had talent? At least by 6, since you were performing with the opera.
Well, I don't think, I don't think you're quite cognizant of talent at that age. I think I had a love of it. And, my parents always had told us that I had 2 older brothers, and, we would all sing along, and they would always, classical music was a constant in our house. And so we would be naming composers and singing along and whatnot. And so I think we were all raised to believe that we had a good ear and that we were kind of born to be musicians. So it was very natural.
That'd be pretty interesting table conversation, didn't it?
Yes, it was. And one of my brothers did the Metropolitan Opera with me. So there were a lot of really fun family times, for sure, with the music.
Are your brothers performing now?
No. So my brothers definitely took the route of, we've seen what the business is. They're both incredibly talented and very artistic and very creative, but they decided to go more the other route. So my one brother is in digital marketing, and my other brother was the trader on Wall Street for many years and is now a financial advisor.
Okay. So you made your way out to California. When did that happen?
So I was doing a long-running Broadway show, and I was on vacation from that show in Honduras, and just kind of looking at the water, and I was having a conversation with my then husband, who had come to New York from LA to kind of be with me because my career was in New York. And I was just burnt out on theater and felt creatively unfulfilled at that point in my life. And I knew that I was ready for a change. I had toured all over our country and all over the world with different productions, but I'd never really called any place but New York, New Jersey home. So it was at that point he said, would you be willing to go to LA? And I had a lot of really fantastic connections in LA, and I just thought about it. It was kind of a split-second decision. I said, yeah, let's do it. So I went back to the show, and I gave notice.
And picked up and went.
And picked up and went, yes.